Yesterday I saw a microchip that was just. Man, that was easier than logging onto the internet here. It took me like 3 tries by. I'm sorry if a lot of this is obscured because it's hard to explain because everyone isn't eating all the time. But if there was only one, like, person that was an alien who did need to eat because they were putting bugs out of their mouth and those bugs were eating people alive without them knowing until they were in a casket 6 feet underground. Like, no one would know that. It's just how, like, a spider web can be equal to a cord is no different than having a choice of you having blood come out of your forehead or a giant clot on your jaw. I would rather have blood out of my forehead if it's minimal than a clot in my jaw. To close like 30 browsers because it kept popping up. So keys are a lot easier. I think it's important to note how many objects in your body, like your heart or your spine, allows you to be alive. For this camera I'm talking into, it has a battery and a microchip. And if I just click one button, they all pop out really quick. If there was one button to make your heart and your spine pop out really quick, it would probably be from being in a factory and your spine being taken out by a robot arm. A thing of the jaws of life, but made to more precision. Almost like a tuning fork you hit. All it would need is just one hit of a tuning fork and it was able to do that really quickly. Is like a fatality from Cyrax or Sector. Versus when a different Mortal Kombat character reaches their hand and it goes in through their chest and they grab their heart with it. That's a fatality that takes your heart out just as quickly. But if those were done at both the same time, it's just like how cancer, if it was on your heart or your spine, if it all of a sudden within seconds took over more than half the cells in your body, you would be the cancer. And so how many cancerous cells are there? That all depends on the cell. It has a charging area and it is or isn't cancerous. How many of these cells are cancerous at any given point in time is almost equivalent to a heart and a spine having it or not having it. So the image I was trying to show you was a bell, but it was put with dark metal, so how important the surface of something is if it's not shiny, then it was almost like Noob Saibot's skin that doesn't reflect easily because it doesn't have reflective properties. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have cells, it just means that there's different surfaces on stuff, and if your skin is like a tattoo that is like a dark metal on a bell out here that can't be seen on the lens easily, it's equal to Noob Saibot having his flesh be of the same tonality. That is, of course, if only and knowing that the blood will clot and stop, versus the thing in your jaw, you know it's already been clotted, so when will it unclot, you don't know. If you hit your abdomen on a bar, it's going to be different than hitting your abdomen on a concrete sidewalk. But if the concrete sidewalk has snow on it, that'll brace for impact, so you might want to do that instead of a metal pole. These are facts. And one fact alone is that if you have a timeline where you know everything that will happen eventually will allow you to control if people are alive or dead, is the ostensibly basis of what Mortal Kombat tournaments are based off of. Not to control whole entire realms, Earth realm being one of them, but to allow people to have a fate not worse than death. And this is why Raiden makes a stage the same as a character, and then collapses the stage on the character without them leaving any realm. What this might look like is the beheadment of Shinnok, and then his building falling on his head as if it were a beam that was being crushed by a ceiling. So what's the furthest back you can go and have an impact of an apple still implode? It says your blood can clot or it can keep running. There's different ways of knowing what's bad or good. But there's a Mortal Kombat character, Devora, and she can make like her body produce different things so that she doesn't have to. And so if what I just showed on the screen had blocked a certain cell phone from working, it would be equivalent to someone had a chip, like, or a metal piece in their forehead that turned off a phone, or caused you to drop it and the phone to break and not turn back on. Would be the equivalent of a browser turning a cell phone off. If the browser looked like this. When God said his word was made flesh, I don't know who interpreted that, but it ended up in the Bible, and the Bible is the living word. So, by default, in the Bible, if it says that, it's just the same as if your body was the same as the area that you're in, but then the area that you're in smushed your body. But the opposite of that, because life everlasting and love are the opposite of, is equal to, I can't tell you how many times I've like ate something and then I saw hair on it and then I stopped eating it because I didn't want to consume someone's genes through the hair, plus it's just gross because I don't know. But how close can a piece of foreign hair be on a wrapper of food and you still eat it? It's like in Seinfeld when there's a donut on top of the garbage inside of it and he still ate it. Whether something's in it or on side of it is a huge deal, especially in digital landscapings, because passwords can be taken in different directions without you being able to use them.